Boker Tov, everyone. Good morning. Good to be with you. Let us start our day by singing the words of Moda Ani, being grateful for a new day filled with opportunities and blessings. Whoops. There we go. Moda Ani lefanecha. One more time. Modani lechonecha, alechai v'kayam, she'echedarta b'yanishmati b'chema, Rabba emunatech, Rabba emunatech, Rabba emunatech. Today, we are more than halfway through now, our final week of counting the Omer. We are in this week of arriving, of coming ever closer to Mount Sinai, of coming ever closer to a promised land. So let us say the blessing for this particular day of the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us concerning the counting of the Omer. Hayom shiva va'arba'im yom shehem shisha shavuot v'chamisha yamim la'omer. Today is 47 days, which is 6 weeks, and 5 days of the Omer. Before I take us into a teaching for today, I would love to thank all of you who are here in Sacred Community. So many of you who have been here every single morning. So Sarah and Riva, lovely to see you. Don and Jay, Marla and George, Debbie and Bonnie, Diane, Sarah, Tina, Pat, and Susan, Andrea, and Hannah. It is so lovely to be with every single one of you this morning. Donnie and Michelle and Rachel, Boker Tov to all of you. Tom and Eve, lovely to see you. And for everyone else who is here, hi, Rabbi Catherine, good morning to you as well. And for everyone else who is here who I don't see, know that your presence is such a blessing for all of us, just that we can go through this journey together. We've gone through so many journeys together in this past year, and I think it only makes us stronger. So today's text, for those of you in Torah study yesterday, you already had a glimpse of a lot of this, but it felt appropriate as we're talking about journeys, as we're talking about heading toward the promised land, and as we're heading to the holiday of Shavuot, to include something about the story of Ruth. Now we know that Ruth is always read on Shavuot. It's one of the kind of center folds of the holiday, along with hearing the Ten Commandments and receiving the Ten Commandments from God. And the story of Ruth is one of a woman who faced enormous hardship. Naomi had 2 sons, and her 2 sons had married 2 wonderful wives named Orpah and Ruth, except both of her sons died. Naomi's husband also died. And so Naomi really had no one. And she decided to go back. She had been living in Moabite, and Ruth and Orpah were also Moabite women. And Naomi decided that she was going to go back to the home that she knew. She was going to go back to Bethlehem. And Ruth, her daughter in law, didn't necessarily have such a great future ahead of her because without a husband, she had very little rights. She had very little kind of promise. Now, the practice was that if someone's husband died, that you would marry their brother. Well, there was no brother to marry. And so Naomi said, go back, just go back to your parents' house, find a new husband. You're young enough, you can have children, your life will be okay. But Ruth responds and says this: do not urge me to leave you, to turn back and not follow you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. With these words, Ruth bounds herself to the Jewish people. Some rabbis say that this is the first ever statement of conversion. Maybe we agree with that, maybe we don't, but it certainly is a statement of hope. It certainly is a statement of love. It certainly is a statement of commitment. And so after Ruth says these words, after she insists not once, not twice, but 3 times with Naomi that she is going to stay with her no matter what, Naomi agrees to let her. And so they go back to Bethlehem. And when they go back, Naomi says, call me Marah, for Shaddai, one of God's names, has made my lot very bitter. Naomi, also the same root as the name Noam, it's a word that means sweetness or pleasantness. And Naomi's lot had been so bitter that she says, no, that shouldn't be my name anymore. My name should be Marah, which means bitterness, because that was how she was feeling. And Ruth said, I'm with you. It'll be okay. So the text teaches Naomi returned from the country of Moab. She returned with her daughter-in-law, Ruth the Moabite. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. And one of the connections, of course, to Shavuot is the fact that Shavuot is a time of harvest. So this was at the same time of year that we are currently in now. The repetition of this word returned that appears within this text, Leonard Kravitz and Carrie Olitsky teach, is expressing a desire to stress the fact that Ruth willingly left Moab, the country of her people, and the feeling of return that accompany those who come to the land of Israel. So it's twofold. One is this really heartfelt desire to be with Ruth, to go on this journey, to connect herself to her husband's family for all time. And the other, that anyone who goes to Israel might feel that just sense of deep connection to a land that has been so part of our people's history for millennia. This text, the text of Ruth, is one of really, really deep connection and of love. In fact, the word chesed, which means loving kindness, appears within our text at the very beginning, in the very middle, and at the very end. And of course, Naomi and Ruth's love is one of the strongest connections we have, but it's not the only one, because Ruth will come to essentially marry a man named Boaz, who is a distant relative of her deceased husband, and there will be a strong relationship between them as well. Rabbi Zera teaches the scroll of Ruth tells nothing either of cleanliness or of uncleanliness, neither of prohibition or permission. For what purpose then was it written? To teach how great is the reward of those who do deeds of kindness. The entire story of Ruth is about leading and living our lives according to kindness, honoring the relationships that we have. It's a reminder that as we go on life's journeys, as scary as they might sometimes get, the things that give us strength or hope are the relationships that we have with others, the ability to walk hand in hand with people we love and respect. As we continue on this journey through the wilderness that we are in, both in our Torah and also as a metaphor for everything we've been through in this pandemic, it's my prayer that we can continue to lean into kindness, that we can continue to lean into the relationships that we have. It's only because of these that we have gotten through everything that we have already. And so I would like to Lena to conclude, there we go, with a question here. And this question for today is, who have been your companions on your journey? As you've gone through this journey or perhaps other journeys that you are currently going through, who are your companions? Who are the people on whom you can lean and that other people can lean on? And with that, I'd like to offer a Misha Barach prayer for everyone who's in need of healing of mind, healing of body, and healing of spirit. For everyone in the Middle East who is dealing with bombardments of rockets, threats of violence, just praying for peace. We hope that that peace comes speedily and that it is a lasting one. I invite everyone to join with me in this Misha Barach prayer. Misha Barach Avotenu Merkor HaBracha Lehimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misher Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Today, there will be sound healing at 10 o'clock that I hope you take advantage of. At 12 o'clock, I know we as a community will be standing, maybe not in person, but certainly virtually, offering support to Bill Brooks and the entire Brooks family as they bury Fedora Brooks, Bill's mom. And tonight at 7 p.m., we'll come together for a Shabbat service filled with music and reflection and prayers for the state of Israel. I look forward to seeing you at any and all of these things, and also right back here for another day of counting the Omer in the morning. Be well.